It is June 22nd. I watched this day off. 2009. We are on our way to vacation. Points unknown. We're just left the house. We got done arguing where we were going to eat for breakfast.
I wanted McDonald's.
And I wanted Sonic, and apparently we can't make two stops. So, Skylar got donuts, and we are at Sonic.
You see who won, or who had to give in.
So we will catch up with you in a few hours. Peace. Skylar, say hello. Tell them where we're at. Skylar. Natural Bridge Cavern. We're fixing to go in. We'll see you shortly. Here's a nice tour guide giving us the history of the Natural Bridge Caverns. This is the bridge. This is why it is called Natural Bridge Caverns. Here's the first big formation that we came across. There's many to come. That black stuff is actually where bats thousands of years ago used to kind of hang from. Here's our first picture together. Now under the cave here, it is 70 degrees and 99% humidity. You'd think that would be comfortable, but it is not. Skylar, for some reason, has no sweat glands, and she did not sweat this entire time. Angie and I, on the other hand, were sweating profusely through this whole thing. It was quite uncomfortable. This is about when I started to sweat pretty bad. Now, another thing that contributed to the profuse sweating was it was a lot of walking, and it wasn't real flat. It's 200 feet deep, but it's a lot of up and down. There's no steps. It's kind of a ramp. But the ramp really it goes straight up and down. Everything's wet. It's real slippery. We were definitely glad that we wore our tennis shoes and not our flip-flops. This room here is the biggest room of the whole place. At the top, it was about the size of a football field. Towards the end, we were pretty much ready for it to be done with. 70 degrees and 99% humidity is pretty miserable, and we were ready to be done. And this is what you look like when you've walked in that for almost an hour. Now off to the wall climb challenge.
Now, it's not going to help you climb any, but it will bring you down very slowly. So I want you to climb so your feet are this yellow one and this yellow one. Okay? And just stop. Sir, hold it here.
1, 2, 3, go, go, go!
Put both hands on the rope and kick away from the wall.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Was that fun? Skylar, I just got you on camera pulling that wedgie out.
Sir, wait, hold on. Alright, sir, I want you to put both hands on the rope and kick away. There you go. See, that's how
Again.
you
Can you say it again? Do it again.
On your mark?
Uh-huh.
Okay. On your mark. Wait, hold on. Both of you all step off. Hands off too. Okay, on your mark. Get set. Go.
Oh, cheater.
Go, 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 go.
Hurry, Skylar, hurry.
Keep going. Looks like Daddy's gonna beat you. Ready, go. Hurry.
It's like the, what's that, Japanese game shows where they do all that crazy stuff on there? Is that what it's called on TV?
Like MXD or something.
Yeah, they do all that crazy stuff. They were watching it the other night.
Like you bounce on the big balls.
Yeah. See, if you're not, I think she's ahead of you there.
Yeah, getting really close. get it right up there on that green? There you go, push.
There you go.
You got it. There's one by your left knee. Here, push up with that left foot. Push and reach. Push off with your left.
Let's see how far Skylar has went. Woohoo!
Welcome to Natural Bridge Caverns. The guided tour of Texas' largest and most spectacular underground attraction will be leaving shortly. The tour takes approximately 75 minutes. The temperature inside the caverns is 70 degrees with a relative humidity of 99%. Please wear comfortable walking shoes which provide good traction on steep, wet surfaces. Restrooms are located inside. The visitors enter only, and no food or drinks are permitted inside the cavern. Please have your ticket ready and bring guide upon entering the tour. Your tour guide will
We're almost there.
You have one by your left knee. It's yellow. On the left. No, right there. No, put your left foot on the yellow one. Right there.
The one that's down below.
It's a big yellow one. Put your left foot on that one. Come on.
You're almost. It's the one that's away from you, Skylar. By the. There you go.
It's okay. You got it.
Girl, you're farther than I ever would have went.
Are you sure?
Hang on, it's gonna help you. Where are you going? If you go over the blue line, you can't go back up. You almost got all the way.
How was it, guys? Great. Who was the last one that took a while? Was you? Come on.
Now here we got a bag of dirt and fossils. We put it in these little deals and sifted through it kind of like we were painting for gold.
So would y'all find one tooth so far? What you got there? Let's see. Let me see if I can zoom into that. What is it? Is it a tooth?
I don't know.
You see it? No, it could be.
Let me see what y'all found.
Here, now do this one.
Ooh, we got 2 teeth. What'd you find? Let me zoom in.
Sharp tooth there.
Well, let me figure out how to use this camera. Oh my gosh, Skylar. What do you think? You think it's a shark's tooth?
Yes.
Look, see?
Awesome!
What is that?
A shark's tooth.
So put it back in there and kind of spread it out. There you go. Now pick it up. That looks like something.
What do y'all think it is? Let me zoom in. Let's see.
This is Mi Tierra, a Mexican food restaurant. What other kind of food are you going to eat in San Antonio than Mexican food? The food was great and we had a great time. We met our friends Krista and Charlie and their baby Leanne. We got to see the mariachi bands, The skeletons at the front door, as you can see in the pictures, and also the 24-hour bakery that stays open with the restaurant.
Now, Skylar had no idea that we were going to SeaWorld. We kept it a surprise, told her we were going to be digging holes, studying for tests. When we were at the hotel, there was actually Shamu on when you first walk in, and there was Shamu on the elevator doors. But fortunately, Skylar did not notice any of this, and so she did not know we were going to SeaWorld until we were there. Here we are at our first show. This is Clyde and Seymour and the Canary Row Caper. Now this is a neat little show. It's got sea lions, it's got some sea otters, it's got some walruses. As you can see, they're at a little fountain station there. They're up in the top at the office. This one, the seal put his head on his back and was kind of walking, and it was pretty cool. There's the big old walrus. He was huge. He was pretty fat, though. Not a lot of muscle on that guy. There's all three of them. There's Clyde, Seymour, and the walrus. They're up top. They would actually dive from that up top area down into the bottom. And it was a pretty neat show. That was our first show of the day. Many more to come. This is the Shamu Show, Believe. It's a story about little kids who were interested in training and killer whales and became Shamu killer whale trainers.
There were 2 Shamu shows in the whole time I was at SeaWorld. But I think the first one was the most greatest. We sat in the first row of all of the seatings. It was so cool. We could see Shamu above water, underwater. It was awesome. And I think I want to go there many times after this one. Now, what was the most coolest part was that Shamu put the trainer's note up on his nose, and sometimes they would dive off. It was amazing. And when he went back down in the water, I think it was very exciting. At the end of the show, all of the whales lined up in a row and splashed all of us. Now, I wanted to get the most wet, but Angie ended up getting soaking wet. I think it was awesome that happened at the end of the show.
Now this water was 50 degrees, which was very cold. They call it refreshing. I call it cold. Mix that with salt water, and it was quite an experience. Skylar got a little warm there, wanted to go to the splash zone to cool down. Angie and I were tired of salt water in our eyes, so we went to the wall of water of the log ride to get soaked. There were flamingos right by the Shamu Stadium. And we also got to see the baby flamingos right by there as well.
I think the dolphin show was pretty cool. But the coolest part was when the dolphins were flipping up in the air. Now, the ladybird was kind of weird. And the weirdest part about her was that she was on a string and touching the water with her feet. Now, at the end of the show, when the acrobats were swinging off the swings, it was pretty cool, and flipping into the water.
Now, one thing that we didn't know about this beluga whale is it had just had a baby. There was a little one that was swimming around with it, and we all thought it was weird, and we did not know what it was until we got back to the house. There is the whale with the baby. Here's Skylar cooling down with chocolate on her face.
Feeding the dolphins was my favorite part of the SeaWorld vacation. What was so neat about it is that as we were feeding the dolphins fish, they would come close enough that we could reach out and touch them and experience what they exactly felt like. What we learned was that the dolphins do not have a sense of smell, so they actually needed to see the fish in front of them. We would feed them a bowl of fish, and we loved it so much we kept going back for another bowl, and then another, and then another.
I think it was cool that I could just drop the fish in the dolphin's mouth, and they would stay up long enough that I could touch them. They felt like a boiled egg.
Feeding the dolphins was also my favorite thing. I've never been that close to a dolphin before. They would come up, they would open their mouths wide open. They knew exactly what would happen. You would hang a piece of fish out with one hand and you would touch them with the other. It was really neat. By far my favorite. And back to meteors.
Now, the Alamo was the biggest war in Texas. And Texas was fighting over the ruling of Texas. Now, there were 200 Texas people and 2,000 Mexican. Now, they fought for 13 days, and that is what the Alamo is about. We also saw Davy Crockett's musket and hat.
How about Jim Bowie?
He had a big knife.
In 1938, they found the skeletal remains of 5 men in the monastery, which we know as the Alamo. Those remains are still there. Next stop, Ripley's Believe It or Not. What family trip is complete without a picture with the bearded lady? This old lady needed to have her nose picked. Here is the fattest man in the world. I've never seen a two-headed calf before. This was my very first time. This is a section of the Berlin Wall. This piece was in South Berlin. It was actually taken down in 1990. What's kind of neat about this one is this is the first piece of the wall that had graffiti on it. The ones were later on, but this is the very first piece to have graffiti on it. Okay, Skylar, what is this?
This is the biggest tiger in all the world.
Biggest? Well, let's see how big it is. Holy cow! That's one big tire. Go. Come on. This guy could put his lip over his nose, so we gave it a try. This picture of John Wayne was painted on a dried cow patty. We're at the Wax Museum now. This is Johnny Cash. Skylar in her best impersonation of the Catwoman. Skylar was kind of weirded out by the Wax Museum and did not want to touch Oprah. Angie, on the other hand, had no problems. Here's Angie in a very creepy wax figure of Dr. Phil. Skylar blowing a kiss to Marilyn Monroe. This soldier seems a little too happy to be wounded. Skylar did not make it to the horror section of the Wax Museum. Guinness World Records, a lot of the same stuff as Ripley's, but we still enjoyed it. Here we are trying to beat the world record in cup stacking. We had a fierce competition, the three of us. We had fun. That's probably the most fun we had in that museum. Here we are with the big guy figurine. There's Skylar. There's Angie. And there's myself. Here's the Tomb Raider 3D. This was a little 3D adventure that you had with these little laser guns, and we shot the targets. There's Skylar and I. There's Angie and Skylar the second time that she went through. These guys kind of tell you what you're doing. Now this deal, it's like I said, a 3D adventure. Skylar was a little weirded out by the wax museum, so she was kind of scared to go through this at first. We went through this, and she was, I could tell where she was getting a little scared. She took her 3D glasses off, so it wasn't quite as scary for her. But at the end, she enjoyed it. She ended up going a second time with Angie, so we all had a lot of fun. Those little blue things there, that's what you shot, by the way. I came on top. Top score, thank you. This is probably where Skylar had the most fun, the arcade. Now here's the Riverwalk tour. Now, 2 ladies 3 seats down from us got pooped on by some pigeons. And I mean a lot of poop. It was very gross. There's the tour guide. She was really cool. Now that tower there, that Space Needle there, is the 2nd largest freestanding tower in the U.S. This is where the bikini contest of Miss Congeniality was filmed. This is a tall building. This is the side view of it. If you look at it closely, it looks like a cruise ship. Now, there's a tree growing out of that wall. They have no idea. It had just grown like that. Don't have a clue what that building is. Now, this theater is the last Mayan-themed theater in the U.S. Fork in the road. Now that there is a gift from the President of Mexico, those colorful tiles are actually all natural. None of those were painted at all. This is a picture of a bird that sits on the side and was hunting for crawdads. Overall, we really liked the Riverwalk. We ate at a really cool Italian place. Skylar tried calamari for the first time. Overall, we really enjoyed San Antonio.